Hey, you! I'm your nutrition coach. My name is Jackie Poole. Welcome to Happiness is a Healthier Habit. Let's get today's episode started. Okay, well, hello. Welcome to today's episode. Because we are still in the new year, I kind of wanted to talk about detoxing. So, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing a colonoscopy. And they gave me a kind of like a prep, right? That I have to take because you have to completely empty your bowels when they do that procedure. So they're going to give me like pretty good laxative to take the day prior and the morning of to completely like empty myself. Um, but somebody did recommend me to go kind of like on the liquid diet, right? Bone broth, juices, just to kind of help ease that process because I'm very sensitive to laxatives. I took them a lot when I was a child and I actually avoid them at all costs. Now, I barely even try to take ibuprofen. Like, I try not to take anything unless, like, I'm absolutely dying. I took ibuprofen in the beginning of the year when I was super sick. And obviously, I wish I could lay down all day and do nothing, but I couldn't function. So I needed to take ibuprofen so I can feed my kids, at least be able to walk and do the necessary things to get them and help them out to do whatever they need to do, whether it's getting them ready for school, breakfast, and all that stuff, right? So those are the moments where my husband was here, I would have not done that, but I'm on my own. And that week was miserable. Like, whatever got me really good. It took me like 3 weeks to get back to where I wanted to be. So basically, we are going to be talking about detoxing, right? And the ways we can kind of detox and really incorporate this in our daily lives. So welcome back. Um, I really want to be clear about the detoxing word and what it means. It's not about me telling you to do like a 3 day, juice cleanse or drinking those teas. Like, your body's already doing that every single day through organs, through how you deal with stress. Sometimes our life or things that are going on can really make it harder, I guess. Like, modern life, we're always on the go. um we're, we're eating foods that are not good for us. They cause inflammation if we're not sleeping right, if we're being very sedentary. We have all this stress going on. It can really slow down our body's natural way. But the good news is, we don't have to be fancy. You don't need all these supplements. I'm going to give you some strategies today to support your body. And really, you just need really good habits, which is what I am all about. So, in this episode, we're going to be talking about, you know, science a little bit behind detoxing, have some notes, and how sauna therapy, breath work, and really good nutrition can help. I'm a very big fan of sauna. I joined the Crunch Gym literally because it's cheaper to do the sauna there every day. I sweat it out. I try to go like 4 times a day. Depending on the day that I'm going, I go from like 20 minutes to 40 minutes. I always make sure I'm really well hydrated, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. And also just simplifying the daily habits that you can start today to feel lighter, to feel more energized, to reduce, some inflammation that you might be having. And when I talk inflammation, it could be you're holding too much water or you're constipated or, things like that. I remember when I worked at Texas Children's, um, Definitely a lot of stress, definitely more inflamed. Food choices weren't the best. Um, and you can tell sometimes, like, even now, like, I can tell if I'm holding a little bit more water or if I wake up more leaner than other days because I might have something going on, or, you know, a lot of stress, or I went out to eat or had extra sugar. Like, all of those things really make a difference. So we're going to be talking about all of that today. And so, number one, what detoxing really means. So, what it means is basically when we're detoxing, that means our liver, our kidneys, our lymphatic system, even our lungs are working 24/7 to remove a lot of toxins that we are exposed to, whether it's maybe mold, maybe heavy metals, it could be, everyday cleaners, candles, receipts residue, like it could pollution. It's literally everything and anything that your body encounters, right? So again, your body doesn't really need a juice to do its job. It's already doing it. I love juices, I like making them, but to support my nutrition, right? Not to actually feel like I'm detoxing. So the thing here is, if you're constantly feeling bloated, if you're always tired, um, even after you had like a really long night's sleep, or you feel stiff, or your joints are achy, or you're just like not recovering, after a good gym session, if you're not seeing the weight budge, that could definitely be something, right? Um, so that could be a sign. That's that all of those are considered signs that maybe some detox pathways from either of those things that I just mentioned need some support, some love, right? So let's talk about what doesn't work. So, juice cleanses, which honestly, I'm going to be doing juices. I forgot the company that my husband said that I'm going to do the day of the colonoscopy, but it's like it's supposed to be a cleanse, but I'm not doing it for the cleanse. I'm just doing so I can really empty my bowels for this colonoscopy. But it's really cool. I'll see if I can find a name and put it on the show notes, but it's like 4 juices and 1 like milk, coconut milk, almond milk drink throughout the day. And it just kind of really helps with kind of staying satiated and supporting those pathways, right? But it's not to cleanse my body. It's literally because I'm not wanting to have any stool by the end of the week. So my colonoscopy is going to be Friday. And I'm going to start these juices on Monday. But I'm also going to be adding bone broth to make sure I'm hitting my protein, and even some protein shakes, to make sure I keep as much muscle as possible. That week is also going to be a deload week. So I won't even be strength training that week. I'm taking that week off. I will be walking. I will be doing my saunas. But that's going to be so I don't lose muscle, right? So again, juice cleanses, they strip your body of protein. So when you do them, you can really cause your body to have muscle loss. And that is something we don't want. Our resting, metabolic rate goes down. We are weaker. We don't look our best when we are losing muscle. So that's why juice cleanses shouldn't be, something that you do on a regular basis, especially if we're not hitting our protein goals. Another thing that doesn't work is detox teas. Again, I've never really tried teas for detox. I love teas for Herbalife is one of my favorite companies to use the teas, especially with the aloe. It really helps aid in digestion, but I wouldn't say that I've taken like detox teas or like skinny teas. And a lot of people say they're more like laxatives in disguise. It's extra herbs that just really provide like for you to go to the bathroom, right? Which you can do that with the things that we're going to be talking about today anyways. So I wouldn't recommend detox teas. And even just cutting certain food groups, right? Unless you have like an allergy, but you're like, I'm going to cut carbs out, or I'm going to cut proteins out. Like, we want to cut out, if we are going to cut out something, we want to stick to more like whole nutritious foods instead of like takeout or fast food, right? So we want to make sure we're still eating a variety of foods, lots of fiber, lots of protein, lots of greens, lots of veggies, and just spread them throughout your day. Now, I do want to move on to the sauna and sweating, right, for detox. Like, lately, I've been seeing a lot of videos, how sauna is so good for you. Like, it really decreases. I literally just saw one not too long ago. It decreases your cardiovascular disease by like 27% if you go to the sauna like 2 to 3 times a week. And if you go to like 4 to 5 times a week, it reduces that by like almost 47, almost 50% basically. So a lot of good stuff with sauna. And it doesn't matter, I think, what type of sauna, infrared, there's so many now, right? Infrared, just a regular, I just like the regular sweat session, the hot, dry sauna. It is perfect for what I like, how I feel. I feel so much boost and energy after that. Even after a hard workout, it just helps recover better. So how does it work? Let's start by, again, saying that it's basically kind of like heat therapy, right? So saunas make you sweat, which again release toxins like heavy metals. And like I mentioned before, we're inundated with all of these things on a regular basis. So it would be good if you can invest in that, for you to go, again, 2 to 3 times a week, 20 to 30 minutes after your workout sessions. It is such a good benefit, and so many things come along with it, like boosting circulation, lymphatic drainage, lowers inflammation. Again, it supports muscle recovery. It's very rare. I can't remember the last time that I've had a session where I feel so sore, and I've slowly kept bumping. I've been bumping my strength, so I've gone heavier. And not only, I think it's the sauna, I think it's also my fit peptides, but basically both of those combined. It's rare on the days that I feel like I'm sore, oh my God, I did something. So I think the sauna really supports that. And my sleep has been pretty good. Usually I would wake up on the second half of my cycle. I would, kind of wake up more often, and I would feel hot. So I would have to take a little bit more magnesium on those days. And I don't know, this month has been a little different. I did take my IUD off. Obviously, that one was non-hormonal. I had the Paragard one. And I'm not sure if it has, like, I've been taking a probiotic. I've been doing a couple new things this month, as far as like the whole January goes. So I have noticed my skin has gotten a lot better. My jaw acne is kind of fading away. I see it less. And so my sleep has really improved. There's some nights that I don't even wake up at all. Like, my watch says I didn't, wake up at all. So I don't think I've seen that in a while. And so I don't know if it's me removing the Paragard, or, I don't know what it is. And we'll see how I do this month. But my sleep has really been good for sure. And I don't know if it has to do with the sauna. I've been more consistent. It's something that I've been doing for a really long time, and it's one of my favorite things to do. And again, it's really huge for detoxing. So how often you should do, I just give you kind of mine. I pretty, increase the time as the week goes. But 3 to 4 times a week, 20 minutes, it's such a great place to start. And again, you want to make sure you're drinking enough water, you're adding electrolytes after, so you don't feel wiped out, right? And you don't have to have electrolytes. You can just add salt to some of your water, make sure you're adding lots of, salt to your food. You don't necessarily have to have electrolytes, but they definitely help, especially because if you're training or if you're doing this often and you're somebody that sweats a lot, we need to replace all of those kind of minerals that we lost. So I remember I didn't know this when I did ran those 16 miles with my brother-in-law. He came up to me after a few days, I think it was like a day after, and he showed me his t-shirt and it was like covered in white. And he asked me what it was, and I was like, deodorant. But in my head, I was like, damn, you have deodorant all over that shirt. And he said it was salt. It was all the sodium that our body sweats out. If you notice, your sweat is pretty salty. So we got to make sure we replenish with electrolytes if we're doing this often. Obviously, I'm always drinking my hydrate. Again, it's a great combination with the fit and the peptides. It just really supports my well-being, and I feel really regenerated. I don't feel exhausted after my training sessions. And I would say that these past few weeks, my training sessions are pretty hard. They're like an hour and 40 minutes, 3 times a week. So I am there for a really long time, and I feel like all of those things have been really supportive for me to continue to have energy throughout the day, especially when we have, soccer practice, when we have soccer events, or when I have to go to events myself and drive kind of far. I haven't noticed any days where I just feel like I need a nap. And so I know that is good, especially when I'm not drinking a lot of caffeine either. The maximum I take is maybe like 100 milligrams, and that's because I'm taking my fit. Now I'm doing just peppermint tea. So next, we are going to be talking about breath work. So being more calm. This is something that I'm very big proponent of during my coaching program. I prescribe this to all of my moms, all of my girls that I work with. I have a gym owner that I'm working with, going through a lot of stress. And this is something that is really overlooked. And this is something that I overlooked, that I kind of stopped. I recommend it. I know it works. But sometimes I tell myself, I don't have time to do that. And that's just what I say when I don't want to make time for it, right? So breath work is such something that helps you just slow down, whether it's to start your day, to end your day. I don't know if you know this, but when we have fat in our bodies, the way we burn it is just basically energy in and energy out, right? And that energy out, I believe, is like CO2. So we're practically exhaling our fat when we're losing weight, right? So when fat breaks down, it leaves our body mostly through our breath. So breathing is such an important thing to learn. I feel like sometimes we forget to do that, or in stress situations, we hold our breath. I've noticed I've done that myself when I'm in a rush, when I'm in a hurry. I hold my breath when I'm working, and I don't know why, right? So we kind of forget that how to breathe. We've forgotten how to breathe. Like, I think there's a book that teaches us how to breathe, and I'll have to look that up. I forgot the title of it, but stress can really cause shallow breathing. And if you can it can slow down our metabolism. And if our metabolism is slow, it can also kind of break down that detox function for all of the other things. So if you remember when I talked about in the beginning, the lungs also help us support and detox our body. So it's very important that we learn to breathe, we slow down. There's two techniques that I like to give my clients. One of them is belly breathing. So basically, you just kind of breathe in all and let like your belly go out as much as possible. And then you breathe out and just kind of exhale, your entire breath. And so I always recommend do 8 to 10 of those when you wake up or before you go to bed. You can also focus on your core while you're doing those type of breaths. Another one that I like to talk about is box breathing. That one's also very simple. This one they actually do in my hatch. When I turn on my hatch, sometimes they alternate the voices and they do different ones. And sometimes they do the box breathing one. Is you kind of inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and you hold for 4. So those two techniques really help lower stress, really support, the detox by improving our oxygen flow. So I would recommend you to try those if you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed or right before bed to improve your sleep. And so we are going to move on to food and lifestyle habits, which is, again, my favorite thing to talk about because habits are going to help you sustain this weight loss, right? So, okay, we've covered heat therapy, breath work. We're going to be talking about food and lifestyle habits for detoxing. And so, number one, which I kind of mentioned it earlier, was nutrient dense foods to focus on, right? We want to focus on whole foods. If we can try to go out to fast food restaurants a little less or going out less and more focusing on cooking at home, you have more control of the things that they use. And so, again, we want to support our body's detox pathways, right? So to support, I have a few notes of things that I kind of wanted to mention. So cruciferous veggies like broccoli and cauliflower really support the liver detox. Fiber, chia seeds, leafy greens, flax seeds, really help remove waste. So I had a client the other day, and I think she was just not feeling good. Something she ate was not sitting with her, and she woke up super bloated. And I just recommended to go on a walk and just have some warm water with chia seeds and lemons to really help you kind of support. It could be, the food didn't sit with you right. You haven't used the restroom. You didn't eliminate all your waste. So having that fiber is really going to help your digestive system and remove everything that needs to be taken out, right? So if you're not pooping every day, it's like you're not taking the trash out, right? The trash is just kind of accumulating and overfilling. So we want to make sure the trash is being taken out every single day. That's why fiber is important and good to keep track of. A good recommendation that I like to give my clients is between 25 and 40 grams. 25 is the minimum, but a good number that I've seen is between 30, right? So like right in the middle, just to see that you're making sure that you're pooping every day and you're just kind of clearing that, because when you are constipated or going to the bathroom like every 2 days, it could end up in so many ways and showing up in your skin, in your bloating, in your mood. So we want to make sure we are doing, going to the bathroom every single day. Also eating healthy fats, which is going to reduce inflammation, like avocado and olive oil. Make sure those are good quality sources, especially the olive oil. If you are purchasing that, make sure it's in a glass dark bottle. I like to get mine from HEB. There's other places, farmer markets and things like that. But I do like the brand that I use from HEB. So next is going to be hydration and minerals, which we talked about that during the sauna, right? You want to make sure your body can flush toxins. it can't do that with enough water, right? So I think, drinking at least half of your weight in ounces daily, it's a great start. A lot of people say, if you can drink a gallon a day, that's great. I'm doing about 100 ounces pretty much consistently these days, and that's been working for me really well. And again, we want to add sea salt or electrolytes to that water if that's something that you like to have, or you're doing that on a regular basis, especially if we're eating whole nutrient foods. The foods that we cook probably don't have enough salt. And so when we are eating more processed foods, when we are eating out more, those foods tend to have more sodium or preservatives. So the food is high in those minerals. But when we don't, the sodium is kind of low, right? So I don't know if you notice, when we buy electrolytes, sodium seems to be pretty high, because if you are sweating out, going to the saunas, and working out and eating whole foods, you're probably not getting enough sodium. So you want to make sure you're adding either salt or buying a good electrolyte mix, which again, I use my hydrates from Make Wellness. I love them. The link will be below. They're clean. Everything you see on the label is what it is. No natural flavors. So I love that about them. And so lastly is going to be sleep and recovery. Your body does it best while you sleep, right? You recover better if we get a good night's sleep. For adults, we aim 7 to 9 hours per night. Some people can do 6 and they're fine, and everybody is just individualized based on who you are. But that's the recommendation. So also, if you want to have good sleep, put caffeine no later than 2 p.m., reduce blue light at night, kind of wind down, have a good night routine. For me, I cannot have coffee past noon. And I've tested this out multiple times. Like, I made sure I drink my peptides, all of that. If I do a coffee or matcha, like noon is the latest for me. So always learn, to start being aware of those things as well. So we are at the end, my friend. I'm so glad you joined me today. So let's wrap this up with some steps that you can take to start helping your liver, your kidneys, your lungs detox properly, right? So again, we're going to talk about maybe adding 3 sauna sessions or sweat sessions this week. Do box breathing before bed or every night. You can start with once a week when you're feeling stressed, and work your way up to doing it every night, right? And again, goal here is hopefully hitting at least 30 grams of fiber daily with whole foods. So pick one that you feel like you can do, or start with a smaller number and just pick one of those things, right? I'm always talking about taking these baby steps that will lead to big results. So I am opening up some personalized coaching sessions this month. And so if you're ready to kind of really help your body lower the inflammation, lose stubborn body fat, feel amazing, click on the show notes and you can schedule a call and we can just talk about what your goals are. No pressure. As always, if this episode helped you, please, share it with somebody that you know, tag me, screenshot me on IG. I'll see you next episode. Stay consistent, and I promise your body will thank you. Till next time, bye.